Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm here with Ms. Joy, and we are here to speak on behalf of Mr. Demario Joyner, who was killed by a Virginia Beach SWAT team or Virginia Beach police approximately 15 years ago. It's a case that's been gone cold, and the eyes have been, taken off of it. So we're here today to shed light on the situation. There's been a petition started where they're trying to bring this back to the forefront, and we're just here with the concerned friend of the family, with the family's blessings to kind of give some insight of what exactly went on.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Jalecia Ward, and like he said, we are here on the behalf of Demario Joyner. I'm just going to tell you, I'll talk to you and I'll talk to you about who Demario Joyner was. So Demario Joyner was a 17-year-old African-American teenager. He was my friend. He was also a son and a brother. And let's say about 15 years ago, January 5th, 2005, he went down to the beach house for a party. It was his brother's birthday. And unfortunately, some gunshots rang out at the club, and he took off running. And so when he was running, the police got called, and an officer by the name of Robert C. Ernest ran behind him. And when he went to hop a fence, unfortunately, he was shot in the back of his head. I'm here to speak on his life on the behalf of his mother and his sister, to just talk about his case, why it got cold, what exactly happened to him, and what it was about. So his mother states that when he went to hop the fence and he was shot, the very first thing that happened was when she got on the scene, she was not allowed to, she was denied the right to identify his body. She also states that his body was left from 10:48 on the fence to 4:15 in the morning, which is approximately 6 hours. She claims that it was an artery that was hit and that he unfortunately had bled out. And she feels that if they would have provided him assistance within the first 30 minutes, they would have been able to save his life. Demario's mother also states that when an ambulance came, they took his body from her without allowing her to identify if that was his body or not. And they held Virginia Beach, held his body for over 30 days. By the time that the day that she saw her son in a suit at the funeral service was the very first day that I seen him. We both seen him together. She was not allowed to see her son for 30 days. And so that is something, for me, in my perspective, that needs to change. Should no mother be denied the right to not only identify the body of her own child, but to go 30 days and not be allowed to see him until he was in a suit in his service? And so there's a lot of change that needs to be made in his case. There's a lot of things that were wrong and that needs to be brought to light. And that's why I'm here with the blessing of his mother and the blessing of his sister to speak on behalf of his case. His name is Demario Joyner. He needs to be added to the Black Lives Matter movement. We don't need to sweep what happened to him under the rug. It is 15 years, and you have to think about this. Every year that goes by, that's another year of no justice, another year of no peace in the household that he's lived in for this long. And so it's time now. We started a petition on change.org. You can find them, Demario Joyner. There's also a GoFundMe going out. Every penny has gone so far to legal services. We did already provide an autopsy report and paid for that using the GoFundMe. It's official GoFundMe of Demario Joyner. And this will be the first time that his mother will see his medical examination report for the first time. And this is going to be major. And so we're bringing a lot of things that happened to him to light. There was a lot of things that were wrong and a lot of things that the family was denied as far as their civil rights. And we are just way past time. It is time. We cannot go another year and not fight to bring this family justice. And I'm here to testify on his mother and his sister's behalf.
And so, for our understanding, you've written a legislation, or there's some legislation we're trying to get put into law regarding situations like this that we would like to move forward as one of the end games in this? Yeah,
I did. So what was important to me out of everything that his mother spoke to me about, the most disturbing part, if I could sit back and I could change anything that happened in his case, I would change the simple fact that you cannot deny the next legal kin rights to see the death of their child. You cannot hold their body from that child, not allow them to see them, even if they were murdered in a case where a medical examiner had, in the state, like for example in the state of Virginia, legally a medical examiner has to do the examination, right? You can't deny the family the right to have somebody private come in and do that, because you're denying them their civil rights. And that's what happened to Demario Joyner's family. They got denied simple civil rights as far as having somebody else private come in and take a look at his body to see what else happened, to see, to justify his death and to give them some type of closure. And because of that, they haven't even had closure.
Right.
So my legislation states that it would just completely be illegal for the next legal kin to not be allowed to see the death of their loved one while the medical examiner is holding on to them. And I think that my legislation, me having that opportunity to propose it and testify in it with his family by my side, I'm 100% sure that it will go as far as God needs it to go, because he's not the only family that this happened to. There are other families that this happened to, and you cannot wait until the service where other people think about you as a mother or a father. You're a father. Think about going into a service and you haven't even seen the death of your child, and in the service, this is the first time that you're going to see the death of your child. It's unacceptable. And his mother stayed in a state of denial for so long because she wasn't able to properly process his death. So they robbed his family the rights to even properly process his death. It is 100% wrong. No family should ever have to go through what Demario Joyner's family went through. And for it to go cold and it to go on so many years, this is where the change needs to happen. There's so many families that this happening to, especially in African American culture. And, speaking to his sister, what stands out to me the most is that she said that what hurts her the most about what happened to Demario is the simple fact of how they disregarded his life as if his life has never mattered. And when I heard that, that's when I combined his life and felt that was, at this point, it was time to make his name a part of Black Lives Matter legacy. Because for her to say that his life never mattered, and we are now in the streets protesting that Black Lives Matter, now you can see where these two have to coexist.
Yes. Because
families are going through issues where they're feeling like their loved ones were taken from them, and that's it. So, there's no answers. There's no, that they got a knock on the door, and it was a simple, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the death of your son. And that was it. They had nothing. 15 years and nothing else.
But this is the opportunity where we stand now. The House of Delegates or State Representative of Congress right now, Kelly Fowler, if I'm not mistaken, would be over that jurisdiction. So we need to petition and contact Kelly Fowler's office, House Delegate, to have this to put into for the General Assembly. Right now, Elaine Luria is that elected official for that particular jurisdiction, so she needs to be contacted and champion these issues. It's real easy for these politicians to say that they support the movement from Twitter. It's real easy for these politicians to say they support the movement from their Facebook page, but it's time for actual action to actually have these families vindicated. This is one of the many cases in Virginia Beach where is one of the reasons why we do say we want to dismantle and defund the Virginia Beach Police, because this is yet another case of injustice. We're speaking on Matthew Russian, who is an autistic male serving 10 years of a 50-year sentence for a non-fatal car accident. We're speaking of India Kaker, who was killed by Virginia Beach SWAT as they were serving the warrant on somebody that didn't have anything to do with her child in the back. And now we have Mr. Joyner here's case to bring to light as well, to show that there is systematic racism going on, to show that this is not just a one-time story, this is not just a one-time thing where you have to dismantle, because it's systematically embedded. So you don't know how deep these waters run and how far down these racial ties or these evil ties are going. So it would only be right to dismantle it, give a full disclosure citizens review board where the citizens have the power, and we need subpoena power. Situation like this, we should be able to subpoena that officer. This family should be able to have the private investigator or have their private medical examiner come in and examine the situation and do it from an outside entity that's not trying to protect itself. We say all the time, if we are able to grade ourselves, if I was able to grade myself in high school, I've been straight A's, valedictorian. So these officers are now allowed to grade themselves, they're allowed to discipline each other or not discipline, and they're having everything in close quarters. Everything needs to be out there to the open. Cases like this, many of the cases are going around, and these families need justice. At the end of the day, it's not just a hashtag for them. This is hurt, this is grief, this is pain, this is anguish, this is unanswered questions as to what's going on. So we definitely want to make sure, like I said, we get the story out. We've linked the petition to this video. We'll be sharing that out even more. Is there any other information you want them to have?
That honestly was the basics of what I want everybody to know. And I do want everybody to just hashtag Demario Joyner. Make sure you sign the petition. Donate what you can. Every dollar counts on the GoFundMe that started for his family. Follow our journey. Thank you, Black Lives Matter 757, for blessing us and allowing us the opportunity here to sit here and be the platform to share stories like this and have that opportunity to bring his mother and his family justice that they deserve. So we appreciate you. I truly appreciate you, and I'm speaking on behalf of his family, and I know that they will appreciate you as well, for you guys to take the time to come out here and to even speak to myself on behalf of his family for the life. And this just goes that his life mattered, and we're going to acknowledge that today and every day, and every Black life matters.
Absolutely. I said, with that being said, I said we'll end this for now. We'll be posting any future actions. Like I said, this is just the start. We have linked the petition to this video, and we'll also make sure we link the GoFundMe, and we'll be sharing it throughout our channels. Please feel free to share this video and contact with any story that's similar of injustice. This is one step of many. So like I said, we do have a long road ahead of us, but if we can, like I said, it starts today. The time to sit stagnant is far from over. So 2020 is a year of refocus. Let's come for everything that we are owed and make sure that all of our lives slain ancestors do have the justice they deserve. Peace and blessings.